JJ,
Dad.
welcome to Breakdown.
Welcome.
It's Monday, December 19th, 2022. You looking mighty happy.
What reason would I have to be unhappy, Dad?
You got the ARK kid right here. Yours truly, the sports savant, aka JJ. We're gonna talk some Big Ten SEC football. You ready to do it?
Let's do it.
Let's talk some bowl games.
Okay, let's do it.
It's bowl season. Bowl season. One SEC team has already played in a bowl game this year.
Did they play? Did they get off the bus even?
Well, you make a good point. And obviously, you're talking Oregon State and Florida in the Vegas Bowl.
Yeah.
And that was dominated by
Not Florida.
Okay.
Not Florida whatsoever.
Dominated by Oregon State.
Yeah, ran all over them.
But the SEC still have a minimum of 10 more games to go.
10 more.
A minimum of 10 more. Depending on how they do in the college football playoff, they could get an extra game.
They might play 11.
That's a possibility. Now, the Big Ten got 9 teams in bowl games.
They do.
With the SEC, with 11 teams in the bowl game and possible more games, how many wins do you pick the SEC for the SEC?
I think the SEC will win 5 games this postseason.
I got 6.
Okay.
Actually, I got 7 because I'm picking Georgia to win it all.
Okay.
So I got 7, and you got 5. I'm gonna write that down.
I am picking Georgia to make it to.
But not win. We count wins.
Well, I might be picking them to win it too.
Okay. So I'm writing it down right now. So I got 7, and you got.
I got 5.
You're not changing it to 6?
No, I have Georgia winning it all too.
Oh, and that's fine.
Yeah, that includes Georgia.
Okay.
2 from Georgia.
Okay. What about the Big Ten? How would the Big Ten do? They got 9 teams in bowl games.
Yep.
How many wins will they get?
5.
Ooh, I got the Big Ten getting 1, 2, 3 and a half. JJ says 5. You got 5 for the Big Ten.
You have 3.
3.5. I'm gonna jump that 3.5 to 5.
What are you talking about? 3.5 to 5? I don't understand. You don't. How do you have 3.5 wins?
I had them. Well, I was tossed between the Tennessee. The Big Ten. I was torn between. What game was it? It was Maryland and NC State.
Okay.
But then.
So you decided to go Maryland's way on that one, then?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I can. You know what? I'm not gonna go through every single game, but let's go through some of the key games and tell me how you. Tell me the basis for your selection.
Yeah.
Tell me your selection, the basis. First one is Ohio State and Georgia.
I do not have Ohio State winning that. Jackson Smith-Njigba will not be playing, and he is their best player. So.
Okay. He's better than Stroud.
He's better than C.J. Stroud, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, for positional value, Stroud plays a more valuable position.
Okay. I understand.
Jackson Smith-Njigba is the best receiver in the country. C.J. Stroud is not the best quarterback in the country.
You mentioned someone not playing. That's the problem with picking a lot of bowl games because you don't know who's going to be there. For instance.
Yeah. Less so in the playoff though.
True.
That one is Jackson Smith-Njigba has a hamstring issue.
Okay, true. But I understand. But I just wanted to get to that point about players. You mentioned earlier you got players not playing because they want to go to the pros, or players not playing because they're transferring out. You mentioned earlier about Arkansas. You said they had some players in the transfer portal.
Yeah, before we started recording, I did say that there was at least 30-some players in the transfer portal.
With such high numbers like that, how can you possibly accurately predict the bowl game? And a lot of those are not key players, but other teams are going to have significant players absent as well.
Yeah,
it's make it so difficult to predict winners in bowl games. But I'm still sticking with my 7 SEC teams and 5 Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
Wins, not teams, but wins, because Georgia get 2. But now back to you said you got Georgia over Ohio State. We got to talk about the other three Big Ten versus SEC teams, and that's Purdue and versus LSU.
Also, sticking on the college football playoff, I have Michigan winning, and then
I was going to get back to that.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I was going to get back to that one.
Okay.
I was just going to talk where they're playing each other right now, and that's LSU and Purdue.
Yeah.
Who you got winning that one?
I have Purdue winning that one.
Purdue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They have fought a good fight lately at the end. They've been playing good. Mississippi State and Illinois. Mississippi State without their head coach who passed away. You want to say anything on that?
He had a massive heart attack at 61. But apparently there were reports that he was having heart issues all season, so this doesn't come as big of a surprise to his family as it does to the.
And we were talking about
Mike Leach.
Yeah.
He didn't invent the air raid, but he popularized it and brought it to the mainstream. Yeah, he passed away at a very early age.
61.
61.
Yeah, I didn't hear until after the fact that he had been sick through the season. A significant amount of coughing and stuff like that they said he had been doing. Yeah.
That's just a tough situation to be in. Prayers out to his family. I in this game though, I'm gonna go with Illinois. I think that the Mississippi State players are gonna want to play. They're gonna want to play in memory of their coach. They're gonna want to score a lot of points and everything like that. But
yeah, I'll go with Illinois as well.
Yeah.
Illinois is a better team.
I would go with Illinois.
The last game between Big Ten and SEC, Iowa and Kentucky.
The rematch no one wanted to see. They played in they didn't play in the exact same location.
They're going to be playing in Nashville in the Music City Bowl.
But they did play each other last year, and
So I think that's good.
Well, Kentucky's quarterback is not going to be playing Will Levis. We already know that.
Yeah.
And we already know that their running back Chris Rodriguez will not be playing either.
They got Smoke Cavassier.
He's in the transfer portal.
Oh man.
But what they do have is Iowa's former backup quarterback last year, Deuce Hogan.
Okay.
He transferred to Kentucky, so he'll likely get some playing time. He'll probably I would imagine he'd start this game to get some payback against his old team. Iowa has one of the best defenses in the country. They know Deuce Hogan very well. Deuce Hogan has an upgrade in receivers. Kentucky has some really good receivers.
Okay.
Some freshmen All-American and Berrien Brown. They have Travion Henderson and they have Dane Key, another freshman. So Kentucky has the firepower in that respect. I'm still going to go with Iowa.
So in the 4 head-to-head games, SEC, Big Ten, you got it 3-1, or did I miscount?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would change if LSU's quarterback, the fifth-year quarterback, if he plays, then I would probably give LSU the lean, and it'd be 2-2. But operating under the assumption that he does not play, I'm gonna go 3-1, with the one win being the game that actually matters.
Okay.
In the college playoff.
Okay. Let's talk about the college playoff.
Yeah, let's
The
circle
Big
back.
Ten got 2. We already talked about one team. You said they were going to lose the first round. And then in the other Big Ten team, number 2, Michigan playing number 3, TCU.
Yeah.
And that game is in Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah, it should be.
Who have the advantage?
Well,
location-wise, just location-wise.
Well, there should be a lot more Michigan fans than TCU fans.
Yeah, I was going to get that. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, Michigan has one of the biggest alumni in the country, and TCU is a somewhat small private school.
A very small private school.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I would imagine Michigan would have that advantage. I know Glendale's closer to Texas, but I would give the advantage to Michigan.
How do you see that matchup, offense versus defense?
Yeah, so TCU has he was a Heisman runner-up.
Quarterback
Max Duggan. He's really breaking out this year. In high school, he was under-recruited. He played, I think, 5 sports. I know he played football, basketball, baseball, and ran track, but I think he also wrestled or played soccer. I think he was a 5-star athlete. So he's been getting
5 sports.
5 sport athlete.
Okay.
Yeah, not 5-star. So he's been. Those are the type of players coaches love because they think that there's a lot of meat on the bone as it pertains to development wise. And in Max Duggan's case, it's the case. I mean, he's a dual threat. He can run with it. He can throw it. They have one of the best receivers in the nation. But I think that's about where TCU's advantages end. I would give every other advantage to Michigan.
I haven't seen the point spreads in a while. It started out though at like 9.5, and then it dropped to like 7.5. I don't know where it is now. How convincingly do you think Michigan will win?
I think they'll win by 5 to 10 points.
Okay.
I would probably stay away from the 7.5. If it got to 6.5, I might take Michigan. But I could absolutely seeing them winning by just like a touchdown or less.
You look for low scoring, high scoring game?
The last few Michigan games have been incredibly high scoring. I look for a high scoring game.
I do too. I look for an exciting game. I think it'll be great. I do think that the two teams that come out here winners are going to be the ones that people expect to win. And I think that Folly matchup, we'll talk about that when that actually happens. But I think that Folly matchup can be really, really, really good.
It should be better than last year.
So, Mr. Sports Savant, we've talked about the key games. Are there any other game that you would like to talk about where it's not a SEC versus a Big Ten and it's not a playoff game?
Yeah, I want to talk about some other top 10 matchups and one matchup that's just outside of it being a top 10 matchup with number 11 Penn State versus number 8 Utah and the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Last year, Utah narrowly was defeated by Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
High scoring game.
By an Ohio State team that was not very happy to be there. They were disappointed, but they rallied and pulled it out the victory in the end.
Okay.
This year, I think Penn State is incredibly happy to be at the Rose Bowl. It's a different program. They have different expectations. However, I do think Utah has the ability to overcome Penn State.
You know what? Penn State has looked good, better than I had thought they would this year. But against the big games, Ohio State, Michigan State, they didn't look good at all. I mean, Michigan.
They looked good against Ohio State for 3 quarters.
Okay, that's true.
And then
that is true. That is true. But I think Utah is the better team right there.
Yeah, Cam Rising, my concern was their quarterback, but he played incredibly well against USC. He seems to be healthy, and I think he'll have time to get healthy.
I do think that would be an entertaining game.
Yeah.
But JJ, before we move on, I want to talk really quickly. The Rose Bowl has agreed to join all the other bowls with the 12-team conference championship playoffs starting early. What is the future of bowl games in general?
That's a good question. Kevin Warren, the Big Ten commissioner, one of the 2 most powerful men in college sports, along with Greg Sankey of the SEC. Kevin Warren recently came out and said he was unsure where the bowls are going to stand in the changing landscape, and they're going to have to, go back to the drawing board and see what they're going to be. I really don't know what's going to happen with the Rose Bowl. I know if Ohio State had made the Rose Bowl, C.J. Stroud would not have played. Mm-hmm. So, the Rose, I remember when players first started sitting out, Leonard Fournette sat out, Christian McCaffrey was sitting out.
Yeah.
These were little small, not, maybe not small bowl games, but they weren't New Year's 6 games. Yeah. Now, players on New Year's 6 teams are sitting out.
And I agree with the commissioner. They're going to have to take a look at the future bowls because the transfer portal, so many players are going to be transferring at the end of the season. Arkansas, their backup quarterback has transferred. I think their backup quarterback has transferred. And they got one quarterback who their next year's hope. If he get injured in that game, I mean, that's a double whammy for them. So something's got to happen with, maybe they don't allow transfers. Well, I don't know if you can't do that. I don't know, but I do think bowls are going to have to be reevaluated.
Yeah.
And I said that. Let's move on to a couple more interesting bowl games this year. One that I find interesting.
Yeah. What are you interested in?
Alabama, Kansas State.
Alabama, Kansas State. Yeah, that should be a good one.
The reason I think it's interesting is because Alabama's 2 best players have said they're going to play in that game.
Yeah, that is surprising. The defensive lineman that's supposed to be a top 5 pick.
Anderson.
Yeah, Will Anderson. And
the
quarterback that's also
Bryce
supposed to be
Young.
a top 5 to 10 pick.
They're both going to play.
Yeah, they're both going to play. That was surprising to me.
To me as well. I wonder why they're doing it personally.
Will Anderson, I'm more curious about than Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young has something to prove. He's not by any means a unanimous selection to be the number 1 quarterback taken. He's still in competition with C.J. Stroud, who will be playing, and Will Levis, who won't be playing, and I'm not particularly high on at all. But kind of reminds me of Davis Mills from the Texans. But he has not separated from them, and he still has something to prove. And I think when you're a competitor, you want to compete, you want to put the best tape out there. But yeah, Will Anderson, I really don't know why he's playing.
Who you got winning that game?
Oh, Alabama.
Me too, because they got the players.
Nick Saban's not mad.
Last team before we get ready to get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Unless you got more games. My game is Tennessee, number 6 Tennessee against number 7 Clemson.
Yeah.
Tennessee is without their quarterback. And Joe Milton, I'm guessing, will be starting that game. Yes? No?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a former U of M started for one season at U of M.
Well, almost the whole season. And that was the year they went 2-6, I believe, and did not play Ohio State in the last game of the year because of COVID.
But now he will be starting the game against Clemson.
Yeah, they looked really good against
in
Vanderbilt.
the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, in the Orange Bowl.
Okay. Who you got? Okay, go ahead.
No, I just said he looked good against Vanderbilt, but that was Vanderbilt. This is a step up in competition. And I will be taking... Yeah, I really wanted to take Clemson because DJU is transferring, and their backup quarterback looks like he should have been their starter the entire season. I'm going to go with Tennessee. I think Josh Heupel is a much better coach than Dabo. I don't think Dabo... I think he's a CEO type of coach anyway. I don't think he's, a good coach in that respect. But I think his coordinators have kind of failed him. So I'm going to go with Tennessee. I think that there are less question marks even with their starting quarterback having torn his ACL. I'd still say that I'm going with Tennessee. Who are you taking?
Man, I'm not a Clemson fan, but I would have to go with Clemson.
Wait, is Jalen Hyatt playing? Do we know? I know he declared for the draft.
I don't know.
If Jalen Hyatt does not play, I'm going to switch to Clemson, by the way. That changes things.
With bowl games, we might not know who's actually playing until the day of the game or the week before the game or something like that. But
so you're going Clemson, though?
I'm going with Clemson.
I'll take Tennessee.
Hey, America, there's a million games out there, bowl games. Make sure you check them out. And make sure you watch the bowl game of them all. WPS, Arkansas against Kansas. With their 30 players in the transfer portal, and there only one quarterback on the team, I got Arkansas by 25. What say you?
I say whoever wins has the right pronunciation of Kansas. So, I'm going to be rooting for Arkansas on that one. But who dey?
We out of here. WPS. Have a good one.